with us. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So Jessica's on Zoom tonight. And who else do we have on Zoom?
So we also have Deb, Jennifer Sullivan, and Frank Nelson.
Okay.
And in the house tonight, we have Kathy Baris, John and Val Davis, and Julie Mack. And our usual crew here. And I have no additions or deletions tonight.
Did Keith send you a report by chance?
No, but we touch base, so I have a couple items to relay and share from him. And we are supposed to have Bob Morlino here tonight, so hopefully we'll see him. I think that's what that is. I'm guessing the green and white envelope.
These guys here probably got solar project in that. Yeah, the Bullfrog Holler solar project. Okay. Addition or deletions, we're all good?
Yep.
The minutes. Anybody see anything with the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept them.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Jessica?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Carried. Kathy, you have the floor.
Thank you. I do have handouts. Okay. All righty. Well, sorry, I'm kind of fogging, fogging with the glasses. So at this point, there are two mistakes in the tax assessor's department that I'm going to be addressing, right? So what has been happening is the board has installed incompetent tax people, given them ultimate power, but take no responsibility, nor hold them accountable for their reckless mistakes. So my question is, why do I need to continue to pay for their errors time and time again? In 2016, my mom and I came here and found out that they had been erroneously taxing us for electric power since 2007. Now, there's no deeded electric power on our property card, and we have none. The reason was because Karen Folger said, "You got a pump, don't you? How do you get your water?" So, at the time, I believe it was Elaine Decker that was here. So, we were never told that we had an option to do abatement. That was only told by my neighbors. And they helped absolutely, no help to rectify 9 years of mistakes that they had made. So we did have an October 13th, 2020 abatement meeting, and it was via Zoom. And Lisa Wright had Ms. Folger read a statement that said, this was not an error, but a difference of opinion. Well, that is a gross error. Assessing a property for electric power when there is none, when it's not deeded, she didn't even look that up to find out, that is a gross error, right? That is a gross manifest error of the lister, which is an absolute justification for abatement for the $2,500 that we were overcharged. Then, in last August's BCA meeting, Lisa Wright pops up with, oh, by the way, I forgot to add the garage in the assessment. So, even though it's been on the property card for more than 20 years, she missed it. And then in October, after I'd already paid the taxes, sends me a bill for an additional $329 for her mistake. Now, again, paying for their mistakes. In my professional career, I was in human resources. I was responsible for all aspects of hiring, firing, assessing, training. If any of my employees had acted this way, they would have been immediately fired. And as the manager, the onus would have been on me to help any aggrieved parties be made whole. That's the responsibility of management. You are management. These people are your de facto employees. So my question is, are you going to take responsibility for the errors of your de facto employees? Yes or no?
Well, I know that you sent a letter to our lawyer, and I don't know that, I think she answered you,
Yep, we've had a discussion, yep.
but I don't think there was anything about the duties. I believe the sequence of events is if you disagree, you go to the BCA, and you didn't get,
No, it had nothing to do with that, because the BCA, the site visit, they didn't fight, they came, they measured, remeasured everything that was there. So the only reason that I got additionally billed was because she made another mistake.
Okay.
It was not, again, everything that I have on my property has been properly permitted, has been duly noted, and is in the records, and has been there for 20 plus years. There is nothing new, nothing different, nothing we're hiding. And there was nothing new. Then they said that right there. It's like, no, we're just measuring everything that's already there. And literally, she was the one who popped up and said, oh, I made the mistake, I missed it. So by the way, I got to charge you more. So again, her error. So far as I'm concerned, the town still owes me $2,600 from 9 years of error.
John?
I think we aren't holding an employee decision-making hearing tonight. We're not doing an abatement hearing tonight.
No, we're
We're
not.
not doing a property appraisal grievance.
No.
You still have, or you did, to take some action to go to Superior Court. You did not do that. Or to the property.
What action to Superior
valuation.
Court? For what?
It's in the letter from Merrill Bank. I'll tell you the statute. You had the right to appeal the BCA's decision.
It's not the BCA's
Please.
decision, sir. It's her decision. It's her error.
Okay, let John finish reading that statement, please.
No,
You are notified
I
of
saw
the change made by BCA pursuant to statute. You had the right to appeal the BCA's decision either to the state appraiser or the Supreme Court by filing a notice of appeal within 30 days as provided by 32 VSA section 4461. No notice of appeal from the BCA's decision was filed.
but
Here's this letter.
it wasn't from a BCA decision.
We can't give you more time.
It wasn't from a BCA decision. There was no information that was new, that was a decision by the BCA. This was strictly a error that she made that she then decided to bill me for. There was no, it wasn't anything from the BCA. That's my point. It wasn't.
The BCA, I think, took that into consideration when they made their ruling.
Took what into consideration?
All the testimony that was given during the hearing,
What ruling?
all the decisions, all the testimony that came in. I think we've had enough time.
Okay, so tonight, you're looking to see if we're gonna take action against,
Well, I'm
Lisa?
saying, why do we need to keep paying for their mistakes?
do you have the garage?
Of course. It's
Okay,
been there
so-
for 20 plus years.
So it was omitted off your tax bill and then it was added, but it's correct with the garage added to your tax bill, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't be certain of anything that they do because they were charging me for electricity for 9 years. I cannot be sure of any information that comes out of that office.
So what do you want us to do
What
tonight?
I want you to do is to rectify the situation by overseeing people that you give ultimate power to charge anything that they please without recourse. So they need to have some oversight.
So according to the state statutes, it's not our responsibility to oversee.
Whose responsibility is it?
We hire her
Yeah.
as an employee.
Yeah.
And then if you don't agree with her, then you go to the BCA and then you move up the chain to the state.
So the constant errors that that department is making, nobody seems to be concerned about?
It's not that we're not concerned about it, but we don't have the authority to overstep and go that, it's all laid out so that you go to the BCA, and if you're not,
So what about the 9 years where somebody...
that was the abatement. That was the abatement hearing for abating the taxes for 9
Where
years.
she said it was just a misjudgment. That was gross.
And then the
That was gross
abatement board
negligence.
ruled, and if you didn't agree with the abatement board, then you have to go to the state. So basically, your next step is to go to the state with the discrepancies that you have with the tax.
So you don't think that there's a problem in the tax office? That's what I'm hearing.
We're not saying that. We're saying that this isn't a warned meeting to evaluate our employees. That's what we're saying.
These questions have all gone through the Warren meetings, and if you're not satisfied with the output, you can't come back to us, you have to go to the state level.
The BCA is an elected board.
So, all right. So I guess I'm not gonna get any kind of a... So my next step would be to do what?
You would have to go to the state level because you didn't agree with the outcome of the abatement meeting.
Okay. And,
The fact that you're getting taxed for the garage is correct. It was tax that had got inadvertently left off
well,
the tax
I
bill.
already gotten my taxes.
Right. But it got inadvertently left off the tax bill and then it got added to make a correct.
So it's okay when they make a mistake that they can go back and charge me more, but it's not okay if they make a mistake and they can't give me money back.
Like I said, it's the structure of the state, so you have to go to the state to find out. If the Board of Abatement didn't abate that money, then you have to go to the next level at the state.
And this,
I'm not 100% sure what it is. Do
I
you,
don't
Jim?
think there's another step on the...
There's not another step on the abatement if the town doesn't rule to abate the
There's a step
taxes?
on your appraisal. That's
Okay.
when that's brought up. When you appeal to the Superior Court or to the state's property, or what do they call it? State appraiser. That's the next step. The BCA and the Board of Abatement are elected officials. They're all elected, whether they be select persons or justices.
so what I'm hearing is that you don't mind that I was overcharged, you don't mind that I keep getting bills, you don't mind they keep making mistakes and then I get charged for them.
Would
don't
you
mind
mind it
So-
that you weren't getting charged for
So-
your garage?
I didn't know it until she said it, and she wouldn't have found the mistake unless I had actually asked for the hearing. Because, again, Nobody oversees them. She wouldn't have found the mistake. She would have been going on for whatever. So she could thank me for that, for finding her error again. Okay. I think I've heard everything I need to hear.
Okay. Thank you for sharing with us.
All right.
Bob?
Oh, my turn, okay. So I'm here
Nice to
to
see you.
get 3 signatures, 3 different, signatures. This is the time of the year where we have to adopt the annual local emergency management plan. So that's one document. The second document that we always do with that is the document, the mutual aid document for the town, the mutual aid for, what do they call it? This was started last year as part of the system. The Public Works Mutual Aid Agreement. So that's signed, that's part of the LEOP. This year they added a new document which is Nims, the Nims adoption document. So Nims is a national incident management system, and we had that document signed probably 6 or 7 years ago. You signed it, and that was good up till now. Now they want it signed annually. So national, just so you understand, the other 2 documents I think you are well aware of. The National Incident Management System is sort of a comprehensive system that we have nationwide. Federal government requests that towns and states become familiar with the National Incident Management System, and you have to have certain things available to you for approval of that. So we have that here in the town. For instance, the fire departments are Nims compatible. We have an EOC. We have a local emergency management plan. These are all part of the National Incident Management System. So they want us to make sure that we're adopting and we're keeping the National Incident Management System as part of our response to emergencies. And I pretty much do it as part of the Emergency Management Director position. So we're in compliance. We just need to get an adoption form signed. So I don't know if you have any questions. Oh, the other thing I wanted to just mention is in the local emergency management plan, it's pretty much the same as last year. The only change that I made was I added a short section in there that says early notification. As an incident develops that might affect the whole town, reports should go to the EMD. The EMD operates under the authority outlined in 20 VSA paragraph 6, which states, shall have direct responsibility for the organization, administration, and coordination of the local organization for emergency management, subject to the direction and control of the executive officer or legislative branch, which is yourself, Mike, and the board. The emergency management team will be responsible for requesting assistance from the state through Vermont Emergency Management. The EMD, in turn, will keep the select board chair, the road foreman, and the fire chief, or whichever fire chief is called out, informed as appropriate. So this is the way we operated anyway, but it was never spelled out. And the point, the reason I have it spelled out is, in the case of a townwide emergency, where we activate the Emergency Operations Center, if we need assistance from the state of Vermont, I would get in touch with the state of Vermont, Agency of Transportation, state police, hazmat team, whatever state resources we need. The emergency management director would get those, would ask for those resources from the state. And those resources, don't cost us anything, of course. in an emergency, when we ask for those resources, we'll get them. So it just gives us, it just spells out the avenue of how we would request those resources. I don't know if you have any questions.
Can you just repeat the name of the national
Incident management system?
National
Here, I'll give you a piece of paper here. Right up top here.
Oh, Nims, cool.
Nims, yeah.
Thanks.
So,
Do you want?
no, you
I
can have
keep
that.
this? Oh,
Yeah, you can
thank
have that. So I don't know if I can leave these, Mike, for have you sign this. This is
We have to
the,
have a motion probably that we
so.
sign these.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
so this is the adoption of the local emergency management plan. So you have to sign in 2 places.
Okay. Let me run that through. All in favor? Jessica?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rich?
Yeah.
Bob?
And to confirm, this motion is to adopt the local emergency management plan, the adoption of the Public Works Mutual Aid Agreement, and the National Incident Management System.
Adoption form, yeah. This is the Nims adoption form. So you just need to put your signature there. Your name's already printed.
Those names sound like 1970s rock bands.
And this, just signed here. Yeah, you're duly authorized. So I'll send these on to the state and we'll be all done. The only other thing I have is I'm applying for a passive grant. This is a grant that is available every year for highway safety equipment. Normally, this grant is a 50-50, so town or the fire department that applies for it would pay 50% of the cost and 50% would be paid for by Vermont Leagues and Vermont League Cities and Towns, or Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns, yeah, right. This year, interestingly enough, they're going to pay 100%. The highway department contacted me to see if the fire department was going to order anything, and you know, we are, the Pawlet Fire Department is anyway. So we're going to put it together into one grant. The highway department asked for certain items like the cones and some signage. I'll put the grant together and along with the fire department, we'll send it in. If we get approved, we get granted the money, then what happens is we purchase everything. The town or the fire department purchases whatever they're going to order, and then we go back and get reimbursed by ECLT. So that's in the works right now. I don't know if you have any questions on that.
Sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, it's I've never seen them do that before where they're paying 100%, but they're doing that this year, so if we get it in on time, we'll be in good shape.
Right. Anybody have any other questions for Bob?
Okay?
Okay. Thanks very much for doing all that work, you and Jay. Appreciate it.
Again, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I'll be all right. You're going home after the meeting, Bob? Can I book a ride?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any announcements?
Yes, the one announcement is that there is a meeting next Tuesday, the 26th at 7 p.m. to further discuss the pedestrian accessibility scoping study. It's a lot like the one that was here where the lovely folks from who are heading it up came and did the presentation. So they're hosting it again. but it's going to be here. I volunteered to do or offered up my time and to do the Zoom for them. So I'm going to warn it just in the event that more than 3 of you would like to attend, as I did just like as a special meeting, so FYI. It's in person and over Zoom, so.
And that's next Tuesday at 7.
1
And
week
then-
from today,
And
yeah.
then next Wednesday, I think Jessica said that we're gonna have the one for West Pawlet, or is that a week late?
That's actually going to be 2 Wednesdays from now. It's, let me look at my calendar, May the 4th
Oh,
at
okay.
7. It will be also in person and on Zoom that Wednesday. That will be the municipal planning grant meeting where Michael Allen will sort of lay out how that's moving ahead.
Okay, thank you, I jumped the gun on that. All right. I guess we're down to reports.
Yeah.
Is there anything from Jonas? Nothing, okay. Planning Commission, that happened last,
None this week.
right, excellent. Road foreman, you touched base with Keith a little bit?
Yeah, so there's no report, but I did touch base with Keith and he let me know that he is planning by the end of this week to have all of the paperwork completed to close out the paving grant and the Better Back Roads grant for Herrick Road. So hopefully we'll get all that paperwork completed and submitted by the end of this week or early next. Additionally, let's see, I wrote it down. So the application was submitted for the grant for West Pawlet, so we're waiting to hear back on that. Let's see. Keith is continuing to seek out more funding opportunities just for, in the event that the grant application for the project in West Pawlet doesn't work out. He's looking for other possibilities to get funding for that. He's also looking into materials and whatnot for summer projects, and he's also looking into pricing for a new town truck, which he's not coming up with very much luck for those latter 2 or 3 things, but he's chipping away at it, so all is well. And that was the bulk of what he updated me on. So.
We'll be a year into that truck, won't we?
We should look at all this, what they look like.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? There's actually a couple complaints on the road that we'll talk from Deb about the road foreman. You want to just bring that up under that? Okay. So on the 12th, Scott Reed saw that a sign had been sawzalled off and attached onto the bridge and graffiti painted on the bridge. I don't know if he was mostly concerned because of catalytic converters being stole by sawzalled off and customers in Wells. So I don't know if anybody was able to do anything with the graffiti on the bridge, if that's been able to be.
I think that's been there several years.
Okay.
I think other people brought that up.
Coincidence that he just saw it, okay. And the sign, I'm not sure what sign, the Betts Bridge Road sign was cut off, so. I guess that can just go on, we'll have to replace that sign eventually. Did you, I drove right by and didn't pay attention.
I guess you guys should assess it and see if they can, what we need to repair it.
Yeah.
Sounds like we need to put a new post in and a sign.
Yep. With concrete in the middle. So there, saw that one off. Okay, so Ron Blaine on Nelson Terrace has concerns for holes in the road caused by some road work. I'm thinking, and it may be that we were looking for manholes up there and had to uncover them and dug some blacktop out.
When they jetted the sewer out, they had to dig all of those up.
Right. So I'm presuming that we're lacking the risers to go on them. because of the time we did it. We didn't have time to put the risers on and then patch around it.
Now, which road is he talking about, 153 or
That's on,
Nelson Terrace?
Nelson Terrace, so. I'm not sure there's, how many, I can't imagine there's more than one or so up there, but,
Could throw some cold patch in it
yeah,
for now.
unless we have to
Tampa.
get a riser, so. So the plant's opened on the 11th, I never did tell you that, but the blacktop plant's opened on the 11th, so.
I just have a question. So now that we're receiving these, how, and maybe I'm jumping the gun before we go through them all, but how would you like to deal with replying to them? Or would you like to deal with replying to them? Because I'm noticing here that these people are calling and they're lodging their concerns or requests with Deb. And if they're coming to the board and the board's discussing them, and at this point, they're not, it doesn't appear that any of these people are here. So is there a way that we want to be in touch with them and let them know that we've addressed it, or,
A lot of times we've just corrected the issue and
okay,
just went along, you
Okay.
know, unless it needed a conversation.
okay,
That's the way we always kind of done it in the past.
okay.
so.
Because this one just says he would appreciate some communication and resolve, so I don't know if,
Well, I can take a run up and look at it. You know, and determine what we need to do to fix it,
Okay.
if we can. So, I can do that. I'll just take these complaints with me and we can, address them.
okay,
And then there's Judy Lake was very unhappy with the debris left from the roadside pruning. So I don't, somebody
Now,
has
where
to,
is that located?
Robinson Hill Road is,
Across from Fran Powers.
yeah, turn by Glenn Gould's farm and go out through there, right? Isn't that Robinson Hill?
Yes.
What they call Solar Park, what they used to call
Now, is
Solar.
that dead end or does that meet Herrick Brook?
No.
It meets Solar Park, which was a development that has its own roads that are maintained by them, I think.
So there's no outlet on that
No.
road?
No.
No,
Okay. I can
Well,
go
it's
take a
just-
look at that as well, I don't know.
A lack of.
Sounds like she spent a lot of time cleaning those up.
have to see.
Yeah,
I think what's happened is the state hired contractor got a chopper and everything, that's been cleaning up any brush except at her place.
yeah.
Did we go up there and
Well,
and
yeah.
mow with our tractor, or?
There's also been, I think there's been some town roadside, trimming as well, which
Right.
I think might be what some of that, because there was a concern last week too.
Right.
oh, was this in regards to the phone company, the work that they were doing? Or was this in regards to what we did?
This says, but the roadside pruning, I'm thinking by us, is what she
I'll go take a look at it and see.
did. I don't know if we
Because
ever
you're
ended
right,
up.
the phone company has been trimming.
Taking a while for it to-
Deb, do you know?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to try to read my emoji hand. Judy said that she spoke with the crew that was doing, the outside crew that was doing it, and they said they did not do Robinson Hill Road. That it was the town that did that.
Okay, I'll go take a look at it and see what we're up against.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, so that's it for road foremen. Anything from the assessors, John?
Yes, you got a letter or an email from, Lisa Wright about this software that costs a total of $890, and which would work for her 4 towns, Proctor, Pittsford, West Rutland, and Pawlet. And I clarified with Karen yesterday, and I looked up their budget, and their budget had a 250 line item for LogMeIn software subscription, which is a remote access so Lisa can work from home. Should save us on miles. And actually, it'll save us more than the budget. So it sounded like a good deal. It's got a different name. Instead of LogMeIn, it's now GoTo. But the cost to us is $220. Or $222, while in the budget they have $250. So we're under budget.
Okay, that's good.
So I don't know whether
No.
we need a motion or not.
Seems like it's just a normal expense of the
Yeah, it's not
department,
even the
right?
first time we've done it. It's at least the second. It's one of the bills that's in the warrant.
Is there anything else from them, or just that? Is that it from the assessors?
That's
Okay, thank you.
what I investigated.
Town clerk's memo?
Oh, well, since it's my turn anyway. Just to go along with the assessors, our IT person, Vinny Covino, was at the office all day yesterday working on an issue with ProVal, which is a program that the assessors do use. And we got that bill today. I don't know if Julie has seen it yet, but that was $300. And he still will need to come back at some point because they're due for a ProVal update. A lot of the issues that were happening with ProVal yesterday was because the program had not been updated for quite some time, and he's going to come back later in May. I think the next update is due, so he'll take care of that. As far as the things on my memo, was you already addressed the concerns of the citizens that had submitted those service reports. There's a couple of things for Bob to sign, and there's a catering permit that you guys need to make a motion and approve. You don't have to sign it. What happens is, or companies from other towns that have their liquor licenses with other towns will travel around to wedding events and be the bar for these wedding events, and this is one that's going to happen up on Herrick Brook Road.
Okay. Does anybody?
Maybe somebody could read it for Jessica. Jessica, I don't think you have seen the yeah, so maybe somebody, Jessica, the information.
So it's a request to cater malt, vinous, and/or spirituous liquors. The license number is what?
Booze.
Yeah.
Booze.
Oh, vinous, like wine. Okay, wine. Okay, beer, wine, and liquor. Okay, it's for Vermont Farms Catering LLC in Pittsfield. The contact name is someone named Katie Stiles. The type of event is a wedding celebration on Herrick Brook Road from August 20th to the 21st. I'm not sure what else you might like to know, but
That's probably good.
we all have a wedding to go to in August.
Oh, they're going right back? Well, they're going right back after it in the morning. They want it turned back on at 9 o'clock to get right back
We
into
got
it.
brunch.
9 to 11 in the morning, in case we haven't had enough.
Okay, so yeah, so that about, so there are several directions, and it needs to be submitted to the DLC, which is the Department of Liquor Control.
So
So,
that's,
and it's through the Vermont Department of Liquor.
No, you're the commissioners.
Oh, no, I'm just saying this, it also needs to go to a DLC,
yeah.
from what I can see.
Right.
Once
Right.
we approve it, you send it to them. All right, is everyone in favor or opposed of signing this request for outside caterers to come in and do this?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Bob approves it. I have a second.
I'll second that.
Rich will second that. All in favor, Jessica?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Carried. Do I need to sign this one? Oh, you
No, I
sign it,
signed it.
right? Deb signs it. All right, so you're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that covered everything on your paper. Anybody have any questions?
So,
Everyone have any questions for Deb? Okay, thank you very much, Deb.
yep, thank you.
Julie, do you want to read yours?
I didn't really have much of anything, just the 2 warrants and
Okay.
what the numbers are. It's like 8,600 in payroll and 25,500 for accounts payable. That bill for our IT person is on there. That was the late ad.
That was the one,
this
okay.
afternoon. I
300 bucks
felt
for him.
compelled to get him this money because he was here all day.
Okay.
Did you happen to see Kevin O'Toole today?
I did.
Did he talk about the property?
He didn't mention much. I mean, he talked about several things, so I'm trying to remember, because signed paperwork for another tax sale, and then I guess he had talked to you, so he was going to be moving forward with doing the work, but he didn't say too much other than that.
When I spoke to him earlier, he just had some, he may have a few different ideas for some charges that the town could apply to that as well. And I just wanted to make you aware of that if you weren't aware of some of those.
Yeah, I know for the year that the tax sale occurred, the property was on the grand list, and so we can collect taxes from that, but it wasn't on the grand list once the town took ownership, so once the second year kicked in. So we don't have any, we can't collect like the missing tax revenue on that, and we can't collect the wastewater user fees for the period of time that it was ours.
We didn't pay it.
But I have those numbers, what the prorated number was, so I think that we could collect some of what I haven't included, but mostly what I have included is what is okay for us to charge. He did say he would go through it with me when we're ready. It just, we can't make a profit, so we'll just have to turn money over to the former owners, but the less we have to turn over, so we just make sure right before.
We got all our costs covered.
Yeah.
Good.
And did he have any idea on what we can do about that building in West Pawlet, or how's it?
Which building are we talking about?
The old railroad depot.
Oh, he did, actually, yeah, he had some good news on that. The attorney, the bankruptcy attorney that told Kim that we couldn't collect, is slightly wrong. We can't, once we enter a bankruptcy agreement with people, we can't collect interest on it, but you cannot discharge taxes. It's not one of the allowable discharges in a mortgage situation, so we are still due the principal. And he was gonna talk to that bankruptcy attorney and let her know that we are still due the principal and we are still going to pursue getting that money.
Okay. Excellent. Anything else? Let's see, we don't have a motion yet for the warrants, do we? No. Who wants to make a motion for the warrants?
I will make a motion for the payroll warrant number 22062 for $8,629.46, and the accounts payable warrant number 22063 for $25,553.95.
And who wants to second that motion?
Oh.
John will. All in favor? Jessica?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Approved. Carried. Okay. Anybody else, anything else for Julie? Thank you. And emergency management, I think we've gone all through all that. And now health officer.
Nothing from Jennifer this evening.
Jennifer's all set, okay. Wastewater treatment facility. Got anything?
Don't think so. I did see an apartment rental today.
Okay, so
online.
this is what's been going on. She found out that Sadie is gonna get done if she doesn't find a house close by. But just late tonight, I got a text from Jill. Okay, nice, long, very long text. Good news, we have a signed job offer for coverage most days with a very nice woman who also works at American Hardware. I met her yesterday morning when I was getting the rest of the supplies needed for the help wanted signs. She is starting to train with us Thursday and will continue to train with Sadie and me through Sadie's last few weeks, and then with me after that. I also have 2 other interested in weekend and day off coverage. I'm so grateful that you have nice people in Pawlet and Granville. I've been pleasantly surprised with the interest in the position. I'll keep you in the loop as progress is continued. So,
Great.
it's interesting enough, a couple years ago somebody stopped and had retired from downstate somewhere and was interested, but she was all set at the time, but nobody, I think I even talked to him because he called and I didn't put his number in someplace so I could find it, and neither did she. So she's asking me if we could ask around and try and see if we could figure out who this person was that retired and moved up here. And she says, I don't know what else to do. And I said, well, let's just put some help wanted signs on the door for other than just for the hell of it. And that sparked all of this, as near as I can figure.
Great.
She must have went in and talked to him at the hardware store and when she was getting the signs, and so it sounds like we're in
That's
maybe
really
in good position.
Oh, that's
We got
really good.
a new person to train. Sadie's obviously moving back because she was commuting from Rutland and it was just too
That's
much
long, yeah.
for the couple hours that it takes to, that job basically is 2 hours in the morning daily.
You're
and
spending
then-
just as long there as you
And
are
then one
driving.
longer day and stuff, so.
Jill did email us last week, with some updates. So future priorities are how to proceed with potential sludge holding upgrades, the latest meeting with John Kiernan from RCAP to try to see if infrastructure funding can be paired with RD funds to get 100% funding. I think this is, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Nope, okay. Schedule replacement of repair of air valve near end of force main from Spruce Gum Pump Station with Mike McDougal or A1. Will return in July of 2022 to get the last few sections of the system along 30 Main Street, Nelson Terrace, and Egg Street, and install of new hose bib faucets. Most are broken or leaking on inside and outside of the facility. This will happen in the spring. So that was an update there.
I just remember too that that air vent is leaking. So if anybody gets a call that there's water coming out of that manhole, that air vent's leaking. So I don't know if we're getting extra water in the pump station up there or what, but when I came through tonight I saw it. That's what happened when that water main broke, when the main was breached. So I don't know. The one thing I did find out too is that she was having some issues with the pump. And I asked around who and it was Art that did, Art Kilburn, that you got the number. He was the guy that did the work up at the town garage a couple years ago too, I believe.
Okay.
So she reached out to him and he came over and checked it out and found some issues with the contactor and stuff. So that seemed like they found some issues why the pumps weren't working properly too, so.
And so you're saying that there's an air valve leak which could lead to some water
Yeah,
runoff?
whatever, when that bleed leaks, it lets a little bit of water out and it fills that manhole and it
Okay.
comes in the road, but that's the same issue that was happening when the main line was breached, then it was getting a lot of extra water in the pump station up above, so hopefully we don't have that issue again.
Okay.
So I don't know. I was surprised when I came down through and saw. Okay, let's see what she says. Must be very high flows through the pump station. A1 said they can replace the air release. I will reach back out to them first thing in the morning and get this scheduled as soon as possible. Thanks for the heads up.
We could have the guys pull a couple manhole covers too and see if there's a lot of extra water flowing
Yeah.
down in the lower pump station.
So, I think she comes down on tomorrow, so,
Okay.
okay.
I feel like when we had that problem, this summer, right? This past summer, the electricity usage for that pump station was high too, so we could look at that too.
Great idea. I'm sure that pump is running non-stop, but it's flowing over at the one up by, where's that?
And I think they're only
Egg
running,
Street?
and I think, oh,
Is that the one that's,
no, it's those spruce gum pumps that are,
right, but the other
Right.
one's running over up above though, isn't it? Right by Egg Street?
now if it's leaking out by the force main, that's farther up.
We'll take a look at the lower one and see how much water's running into that.
Yeah, so if it's leaking out at that one there, it would be because it's high flows in spruce gum,
That's right, and it won't pump it away fast enough.
right? It's pumping steady.
Mhm.
I just texted her back, said let you or me know if she needs help or anything tomorrow.
And this is a bunch of basements being pumped into it. It is wet.
Unfortunately, it hasn't been a problem very much. Last year was the first time I ever really saw that as a problem. So, we'll have to find out tomorrow. But the one pump, we did end up sending the pump to a place, Troy Pump Works or something like that. They came up and got it. And, she was talking with them and they just needed the wet end of the pump rebuilt. So the motor was still good. So they thought they'd be able to turn it around in a week or so. So hopefully we should be seeing that other pump. So we got a good standby pump. Hopefully next week, and they'll deliver it when they get it rebuilt when they're in the area. So that's a plus. But I think something else was going on up there, that one of the pumps was not running right, but I don't know if that work that Art did corrected it or not. So we'll know better tomorrow. Okay. Anything else as far as the sewer plant? Okay. Facilities report, John?
I forgot whether Jessica or I were going to talk to Matt Levine about the library steps.
Okay.
And in the meantime, all his family got COVID, so I stayed away.
Okay.
I could have called them on the phone, but they're doing fine.
Okay. Next week, next time. Older unfinished business.
I don't know, Jessica, did you want, you had sent that email about the town, your findings on the town green. I don't know if you wanted that.
Right, yeah, I have that, and I also have to ask about the contract for the municipal planning grant. Those are both in old business.
Okay, go ahead, you have the floor.
All right, I think the first thing I'd like to mention is the contract for the municipal planning grant. So I ran that by, that's the one with Michael Allen for the West Pawlet master plan. And I ran the contract by Rutland Regional Planning Commission and it looks good. So he sent out a copy he sent a digital copy to Mike Beecher to sign. Mike, are you okay with signing a digital copy,
Sure.
or do you
Yeah.
want, okay. You got that email?
Yes, I did get that email, and I meant to talk to you about that. I can sign that copy tomorrow at work and get it back to him.
Yeah, that's great, because we already made the motion last time to accept it. We just haven't signed the contract, so I don't think we need any more motion or anything. If you can just go ahead and sign that, that would be great.
You've read that over, just to make sure that I'll try.
Yeah, Ed Bove and I read it over.
Okay, all right, so
Yep.
I'll just
Yep,
sign it
meets all
off.
the requirements.
Okay, good.
Great. All right, and that's everything with the municipal planning grant, and we already announced the meeting for that is going to be May the 4th, in which Michael Allen will sort of lay out the process, and so it's sort of the kickoff for this master plan. The other thing is I did, like Kristen said, I did contact Vermont League of Cities and Towns regarding this concept of protecting the town green that several constituents brought to us a few weeks ago. And so I'm just reporting back on what Vermont League of Cities and Towns said. They said that one thing to do, probably the top thing to do, would be to put something in our town plan about the value of protecting the town green. And I did also ask them about whether it would be in our rights as a select board to pass an ordinance about the town green. And what they got back to me with was the difference between an ordinance and a policy. So basically, if we wanted to regulate what folks in the town are doing with the town green, like if we wanted to say this was nuisance behavior, like to not litter on the town green or something like that, right? We could pass an ordinance about that. But if we wanted to regulate our own future conduct and our attitude toward, pardon me, toward the town green, for example, not building on it, that would be a policy. So if we wanted to pass like an official select board policy about the town green, saying it's the policy of the select board to keep development off the town green, we could do that. But again, they said probably the top way to go is to put something in our town plan about the value of the town green. So I did forward that email to all of you, so you have that. So that's just my report back for the folks who were interested in this topic.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Anything else for Jessica on any of those questions or anything else? You had no return calls on anybody that you talked to about the school, okay, or the library? All right. Is there anything else under old business? Okay. New business? Nothing. All right. Public comment?
Frank Nelson has a hand raised.
Kidding. Go ahead, Frank.
Okay, I sent a email followed by another email with some information about a hydrogen bridging system between current gas and oil use and it bridges over to electric. And the problem with electric, big money in this country has decided that we don't have the capacity to produce enough batteries and replace batteries in vehicles if everybody goes electric. And then we don't have the wiring in many areas, even our rural area, but just imagine the cities where the grids are 60, 70 years old if everybody wanted to recharge their vehicles. So this hydrogen concept is something that is being looked at from two angles. One is to have a delivery system for hydrogen because it meets the emissions. You don't have the carbon, you don't have all that. So to have it, the traditional system of delivery like you have gasoline and other fuels today, And there's also this new thing, which the Tom Ross interview was all about a hydrogen on demand system, which would work for vehicles, and then also a new generator system, which could be used in the vehicles to run both electric and hydrogen simultaneously. And also this could be potentially used, and they're looking at it and have, you know, it's seriously being researched and moving forward in some cases to provide heat and electrical power to residences in this case. And of course the hydrogen gets made from water. So at a much greater reduction in cost without the pollution. So I just wanted to send that out as a little particular, because it was well presented. The MP3 file I had in the second email was probably the most complete on that Tom Ross's direction, whose father was playing around with hydrogen years ago. And the reason why I'm inspired by it is my father also, who graduated valedictorian high school class in Granville, went through Dartmouth for free and graduated from Thayer School of Engineering at Dartmouth, was continuously fascinated with hydrogen for powering and heating homes. And one reason why they had to he had the dam in West Polly viewed as a way to produce hydrogen from water. So this is maybe something that we're going to be looking at, and the advantage of this is, as you know, how are you going to run your trucks, whether it's town trucks or whatever, on electric. And so this hydrogen model may be what we end up there at as well. So, and there's a city in Canada that's gone whole hog and has actually come up with the money with this guy to convert 100 vehicles to this hydrogen model. And I'm going to follow that, and I will report back. But this is as an energy corner, this is a major thing. It might influence the future of where you don't have to get rid of vehicles that have gas-powered engines. People don't have to get rid of their muscle cars. This may be interesting to see it develop, and this will certainly be brought up to the Planning Commission to include in our town energy plan. But this is a FYI, if you get a chance to listen to that MP3, it's pretty interesting. So that's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. I believe that Perry's son, Mitch, works for a company that does that. They make hydrogen. That's when he left Telescope, he went to work for, I'm quite sure that they have a hydrogen, and I don't really remember what they use it for, but some type of propulsion, like vehicle propulsion or something like that. I know that there's a couple of cutting edge places down Schenectady way that are working on hydrogen type propulsion. I think it's, for some reason I'm thinking that lift trucks and stuff like that, indoor kind of stuff too. But
Interesting.
it's, I have to ask Perry if you're talking to him. I'm pretty sure that's where Mitch went to work for a company that does stuff like that. So that's good, Frank. Thank you. Anybody else have public comment? Let's do it. Gets to do it tonight. Who gets the honors?
You guys are
I'll make the
funny.
motion that we adjourn.
All right.
Oh, we gotta sign these warrants. Jeepers, we got
I'll
business.
second that.
All in favor? Jessica?
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Rich?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Motion carried. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.